everyone, it's Sunday, and you know what that means? It's not time for a bold review today kasi walang release ang Vivamax ngayong linggo. Kaya imbes na mag-review tayo ng bold ngayon, kasi nga walang bago, balikan natin ang Bilibili. So, I think it was 2 months ago that I presented a review called on the movie Drunken Master. So, isa siyang kung fu movie starring Jackie Chan, and isa siya sa mga nag-inspire sa creation ng Dragon Ball. So now, I'm going to review a movie that inspired one of the arcs ng Dragon Ball or one of the key settings ng Dragon Ball. Yung hindi Z, Dragon Ball to. Ito yung isa sa ito yung movie na para nag-inspire. And unfortunately, it was unfinished, okay? It was unfinished. It was an unfinished movie, but the concept of this movie was presented at the anime, at the manga of Dragon Ball. And that setting in Dragon Ball is at the Red Ribbon arc, and it is Muscle Tower. Ayun. So, if you all remember if you don't know what Muscle Tower or remember what Muscle Tower is sa Dragon Ball, so isa siyang tore, and each floor, Kid Goku has to fend off different enemies. He has to fight off using his style. Remember, this is Dragon Ball. Walang power scaling pa dito. Minuscule yung power scaling dito. It's all about martial arts sa Dragon Ball. Okay? And what I like about the Muscle Tower is it presents yung mga different fighting styles. So Goku has to fight off against Sergeant Metallo, who has the face of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then he has to fend off against a ninja. I honestly forget the name of the ninja. Let me look it up a bit. So ninja at Dragon Ball. Hold on. So yeah, Murasaki. So yung lair ni Murasaki, it's infamous for the Nyobo, yung powerful ni Goku na pumunit sa butas ng puwet ni Murasaki. So yeah, and we also see here Goku fending up with the first known android of the series, si Android 8, yung mukhang Frankenstein. So what movie is this? This movie is called The Game of Death, and unfortunately, death here is really taken upon to the fact that this film isn't finished. Although it holds several footages of its lead action star, Bruce Lee, hindi tapos yung pelikula na to. Namatay si Bruce Lee habang ginagawa ang pelikula na to. And what we got in 1978 is a different movie in place of the one that is supposed to be 1972. So in 1972, the concept of the Game of Death is like yung kapatid ni Bruce Lee, they were kidnapped and Bruce Lee has to fend off the enemies in a pagoda style. So yun yung concept. The pagoda is like the Muscle Tower. It's the Muscle Tower of Dragon Ball. Yun. Then kada floor may boss. Dito naman niretain yung concept na to, but due to constraints regarding the ambiguous problem that of death ni Bruce Lee, they have to cut corners, or they really have to play a game, ika nga. And the real game here is how do we keep up this movie when the lead star is dead. So obviously you have some body doubles of Bruce Lee who has to act like him. And this is evident in the first part of the film. The first part of the film, it's really the producers or yung mga nasa set trying to piece it all out, trying to enact a story. So I'm going to keep this simple. So Bruce Lee is Billy Lo. He is a stuntman and he is a target of a crime syndicate. So yung crime syndicate na to is led by what's his name? Dr. Land, played by Dean Yeager, who has some henchmen like Steiner, Stick, and Billy Lowe has a fiance named Anne Morris, played by Colleen Camp. Okay? So, ito yung so since main target si Billy Lowe dito, and Bruce Lee is unfortunately dead, there's some tricks that the producers do for this movie. One infamous scene is the mirror has a cardboard cutout of Bruce Lee pasted on it, and yeah, wala pa kasing deepfake noon sa Photoshop, kaya yun yung kayang gawin in 1978. We don't have Photoshop in 1978, guys. So that's the best thing we can do. So imagine if this movie had the technology today, deepfaking Bruce Lee. Sana maganda yung pelikula ito, no? Would have been the best Bruce Lee movie ever because the concept is really, really good, and it proves that to the several animes that and games. Final Fantasy VII actually adopted the pagoda system. Octopath Traveler 2 adopted the pagoda concept. So yeah, it could have been Bruce Lee's best movie. But moving on, ayun. So Bruce Lee's character Billy Lowe was assassinated during filming, and a fragment of the bullet actually passes through. Didn't really took out Bruce Lee. Didn't took out Billy Lowe. And yung shot dito is frame by frame, like 20 frames per second or something. Parang hindi parang mabagal, okay? And it was really a stock footage ni Bruce Lee tumalon on air, and then bang. So they had to make Billy Lowe's character not the same character in 1972. They made him an action star, so they can literally use a set in Hollywood as a setting. Ayun. And that would make it more easier. Yung fact dito na yung libing ni Billy Lowe is, yung footage ng libing ni Billy Lowe is actually real life footage ng libing ni Bruce Lee. Yeah. I'm not gonna say if it's disgusting or not or disturbing, pero yun yung trivia doon. Totoong buhay, real life footage yung ginamit nila sa libing ni Billy Lowe. And it was the funeral of Bruce Lee. So obviously Bruce Lee faked his death. Billy Lowe faked his death, and then he tries to get back at the syndicate one by one. So he went to that mansion, killed off the henchmen, and killed off Carl Miller, yung parang world heavyweight kung fu champion sa Macau. He actually did that in a well choreographed style, and yeah, managed to kill off Carl Miller in this movie at the locker room. So nilak niya yung pinto, then they had a kung fu fight, and yun. So nalaman na sindikato na buhay pa si Billy Lowe. Then they kidnap Anne Morris. Billy is forced to save her, and from the warehouse, nakakala niya doon si Anne Morris na mataan niya, he fend up some henchmen, found out where he is supposed to be headed, and that is at the Red Pepper Restaurant. So we assume na yung ginamit na footage dito are real. I'm not sure on the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar fight. So the first or the third floor rather. So hindi pagoda kasi restaurant yung ginamit dito imbes na pagoda eh. Okay? So I assume that the first floor is vacant, and Billy Lowe just went up a floor, and then he fights a guy with nunchucks, and dito para ma-showcase yung weakness ng kada fighter. One is a dependent on weapons. On the karate level, on the next floor, it was lack of flow sa martial arts. And the third floor is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So, di ko sure kung kung stuntman yung lumaban kay Kareem dito. Pero feel ko nadagdag lang si Abdul-Jabbar dito nung patay na si Bruce Lee, nung trinay nila i-remake yung pelikula eh. So, Billy Lowe managed to choke out to death Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And then, Mr. Land confronts Bruce Lee. Billy Lowe disarms Mr. Land's cane and kills him and threw him up the stairs. So, yung yung isang yung kontrabida, yung is it Dr. Land? No. Huge O'Brien, I'm sorry. So, si Steiner. So, Steiner died. Siya yung may cane. And then, Dr. Land tries to escape. Bruce Lee, Billy Law, saw him escaping and kills him off. And actually, Dr. Land falls to his death. And we never get to see a glimpse of Billy Law saving Ann Morris. And then we also have a bait and switch pala dito na wax figure unang namataan ni Billy Law once he get to the top floor and he saw Dr. Ladd escaping. Pero yun na yun. So there's no footage of Billy Law rescuing Ann Morris. It just cuts to the credits once Billy Law kills Dr. Land. And that's how the game of death ends. Yeah, pretty mixed yung reception dito. It is obviously unfinished. There are times that they try to obscure, on the early parts of the film, they try to obscure yung mga double ni Bruce Lee in playing Billy Law. Like, wearing sunglasses, his face is angled out of the camera, or there is a dark shadow, dark lighting, which covers up his face. And of course, the infamous cardboard, which I will be using as a thumbnail dito sa And yeah, pero yung concept talaga ng pagoda, if we go back to this, if we want the original 1972 concept, this would have been an awesome film to review. Pero wala eh. Due to unfortunate circumstances, unfortunate timing, yeah. Rest in peace, Bruce Lee. That is my review of The Game of Death. Next week, I will be reviewing Rurouni Kenshin Trust and Betrayal. Again, this is your boy God Gamer. Rest in power, Bruce Lee.